First of all, I will use the color picker tool to pick out the blue and the gold from the image. Then I will select the black and delete it, since we only want to trace blue and gold. When I click Process, you can see that half of the tail of the shooting star is missing. We want to trace the whole tail as blue, so select the blue color swatch and then shift-click a couple of places in the bitmap image to add these colors to blue. Keep the spacebar pressed to display the original bitmap when you're adding colors. We will even add the almost white part of the tail to blue. When you press Shift, you can see a small plus next to the cursor. This means that you're adding a color shade to the one that is currently selected. When we click Process, you can see that some white noise were interpreted as blue throughout the image. We will clean the image from some of these blue dots using the Color Filter tool. Click Color Filter and then select the colors you want to allow in a certain area. In this case, we select gold and white, and then we circle the area that only should contain these colors. We fix the star using the same settings with the Color Filter tool. Then we use the Bucket Fill tool to color the sidelines white. Now we click Create Vectors to convert the image into vector graphics. The graphics look far from good, so we need to clean up the graphics a bit. The best way to clean up a text is to replace it with the actual font. Since the I is missing a dot, we're going to use the letters E, P, and C to identify the font. Click the Identify Font and Replace tool. Since this is a straight text, click Next. Type the correct character for each letter and then click Next. Graphic Tracer will now try to identify which font it is. The identified font is Giovanni Book, and it looks to match up perfectly. A green font in the list means that we own the font, and we just select it and click Replace. Now we select the I, and then click Identify Font and Replace again. We click Next and then type in a lowercase I for the letter. Instead of trying to identify the font, we click the last search button this time. Then we select the font that we used for replacement. Use the size control to get the right size of the letter, and then reposition it to fit perfectly right on top of the I. Now click Replace to get perfect text in this letter too. Then remove the I dot that was added. We will now identify and replace the Charter Schools text the same way. Select it and then click Identify Font and Replace. Then click Next and correct any characters that have been misinterpreted. And finally, click Next to identify the font. The font is identified as Agency FB. We select the green agency font that we own. As you can see, it seems to be a little bit wide, so we can use the stretch control to adjust the width of the letters. And then we click Replace to get perfect text. Now we fix the star, so we proceed to adjust shapes. By double-clicking on red curves, you turn them into straight lines. You can select many nodes and turn them into a sharp corner with the shortcut key P. When you have fixed one half of the star, you can select the nodes of that half and mirror it horizontally to get a perfectly symmetrical star. We now clean up the tail of the shooting star by converting nodes to corners and converting selected nodes to curves. A good tip is to place nodes at the top or at the bottom of curves. Remove objects that shouldn't be in the image. Now we click Replace Objects to fix the contour of the star. Click the Replace Contour tool and make sure that Remove Old Contour is not selected. Select Inside Contour, set a distance for it, and then click Preview to test your setting. This contour setting is too large, so we decrease the distance and click Preview again. This time it looks good, so we click Apply. A contour is created right where it should be. The vector graphics is now ready to be exported, so go to Save and then click Transfer in the ClickLink function to get it directly into our CorelDRAW program. Gradient fills cannot be done in Graphic Tracer, so you need to recreate the gradients here yourself. Import the original bitmap file to pick the colors for the gradients. When the gradients are done, your logo is ready to be used for any purpose. Thanks for watching.